And good morning to you. For those watching on Facebook, Dave Nussbaum here, continuing to track the latest with Gordon as it's still a tropical storm. The newest data starting to come into the area, and it's still remaining a 65-mile-per-hour tropical storm. So we're still looking at that, and that continues across the area as we speak. But we are going to eventually start to see some bands of rain starting to move on into the area. It is forecast, you see here, to become a hurricane later this afternoon into the evening hours just off the Mississippi coastline there by 7 o'clock. Landfall between 9 and 11 p.m. there between Biloxi and Gulfport area. As a Category 1 hurricane, winds 75, maybe a little greater. Can't rule out possibly getting up to around 85 or so mile-per-hour winds with that. So that's definitely something we'll have to watch as we continue to see kind of it developing there throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours. Then as we get to about 1 o'clock in the morning, the storm kind of just south of Hattiesburg, mainly off to the east there of Bogalusa. And those areas need to watch there in South Mississippi, a lot of Pineywood areas, potentially for you guys, maybe some downed trees, power lines out, power outages issued as well with those. We need to keep an eye on that. Heavy rain will continue across the area too. And by 7 a.m. on Wednesday, look at that. It's south of Jackson, Mississippi, and then all the way into Monroe as we go on into Wednesday night. So again, this is going to be a fast mover, then eventually slow down North Louisiana and back in a part of Arkansas, where they'll deal with some flooding rains up there at this time. So the track really hasn't shifted too much at this point. Hurricane Center is keeping it intact. But we're looking here, this is satellite, the new GOES 16 satellite, or GOES R as it's called now. We do have, you notice here, again, this big blow up of thunderstorms. See those? That's those thunderstorms really rapidly developing, more than we saw all night long. A sign that the storm's trying to intensify some. Now, it's running out of real estate, if you will, between where it is and the coastline. But there's enough warm water there, enough time for it to try to get itself into a hurricane. And it looks like that will be the case as we get into landfall there going on into this evening. Now, looking at the latest radar, kind of zooming out a little bit, you can see that circulation right there. That's kind of just south of about Pensacola, Florida, almost at this point as well. And kind of zooming on in, some of the outer rain bands coming across into southeast Louisiana now. But notice all this lightning with that, where the center circulation is there. That is a sign that it's trying to get a little bit stronger. When you saw a burst of stronger thunderstorms in the lightning, usually you don't see a lot of lightning with storms unless they're intensifying, and that's indeed something we're seeing out there right now and continue to watch here as we go forward. Back here at home again, there's that outer rain band coming on in. Let me kind of update this here for you just a little bit with the timing of it. And let's draw the new track on here. Moving pretty quickly, around 45 miles per hour or so. But you'll see here again, kind of working its way off to the east, getting on into the city, roughly around 10:50. So Galliano 10:14, which is momentarily. Kenner around 10:30. Belle Chase looking at around 10:30, New Orleans around 10:52. I don't know why it says Kenner there, 10:29. That doesn't make any sense. River Ridge around 11 o'clock this morning. So we are going to see this band coming on in, and as it does, producing some hefty downpours at times. So definitely we need to watch that one as we go on into the next hour or so, 2 hours when that moves on in. Gusty winds and heavy downpours. And you can see it's coming on in towards Jean Lafitte area, back to Port Sulphur and Galliano as we speak. So tropical storm warnings again remain in effect for those areas there. Hurricane warnings for the Mississippi coast and Alabama coastline, the way things are shaping up now. Timing it out for you, you can see here we are looking at some showers, a few bands of rain coming in by the afternoon, winds start increasing, and the evening, heavier rain bands and storms continue to come in. Windy conditions, 40 to 60 mile per hour winds possible with that there. So again, still going to be watching that one. Timing out the probability of tropical storm force winds, a low probability by 5 o'clock, a greater probability you'll see there, showcasing that you can see the higher percent there is the magenta color going on in, increasing here on the North Shore. And notice here as we get to 4 o'clock in the morning, still looking at the North Shore, tropical storm force winds, this 80-90% probability of you seeing them up there, little less, about 40 to 50 or so here across the New Orleans area. So the greater chance of some tropical storm force winds producing maybe some damage north of the lake as we get into this evening and tonight versus here on the South Shore. Rain totals, again, the highest will be up across where the landfall is to the east of it, so Biloxi, Hattiesburg, Mobile, Pensacola. Little less, though, 1 to 3 inches across the New Orleans area I'm expecting at this time. Flash flood watch also in effect, again, for this evening through Wednesday evening due to the heavy rain expected out there as well. PrecisionCast does not show a lot of rain. A few bands from lunchtime today into the afternoon hours producing some heavy rain and gusty winds around 30-40 miles per hour. By 7 o'clock, again, we start to see that circulation there off on the right side of your screen. There, by 11 o'clock, it's inland already north of Biloxi. You can see here again the circulation expected. it. Starting to see some, of course, gusty winds here. Bogalusa back into Slidell. The northerly flow here as well, too. As the storm moves up near Hattiesburg by 3 o'clock in the morning, still could be impacting Bogalusa, Wiggins to Hattiesburg as well. And then back to, you can see some of that onshore flow behind the storm. And then tomorrow morning, not looking too bad. Actually, we'll be fairly quiet with our weather here going into Wednesday morning into the afternoon. That's when some of the feeder bands start coming in, bringing us some heavy rain at times. But this is like our typical afternoon variety thunderstorms. The only thing we'll have to watch out for is if they train over the same area, could possibly produce maybe some flooding there into the evening hours on Wednesday. Also watching out for some storm surge warning there again in the darker blue shade out there. As you'll see, the storm surge numbers 3 to 5 feet from Lake Bourne area back to the Mississippi coastline. Those areas have the greatest chance of some higher water. Only 1 to 2 foot there in Lake Pontchartrain, and it's already that high now. Same for down along the coastline too, so we'll keep an eye on all that. Winds at the moment gusting to 25 in Belle Chase, around 10 to 15 or so across the metro area. They will, of course, increase to 25 or so, but look at this. 42 there expected 7:30 this evening in Slidell, 45 in Gulfport. It stays in the 40s through 12:30 in the morning. Even still by 3 a.m. can still see tropical storm force winds on the North Shore. So I think the North Shore will have the worst impact. You'll see some more rain, but the strongest winds will be the biggest problem for you. It could cause down trees and power lines already to saturated ground. Will lead to those issues potentially through the night into tomorrow morning, all the way here to Macomb, Mississippi. Bogalusa included too. There's no data there, but you're included in that. Even by 9:30 in the morning, still very breezy weather up in Macomb before the winds die down by Wednesday evening there north of the lake. Hour by hour does show chance of rain fairly small, but breezy conditions. The chance of rain goes up this evening as well too. Right now though, we're looking at 82, feels like 90, pretty muggy with some east-northeast winds at 11. Temperatures north of the lake in the 80s as well. With the cloud cover out there, we'll see again still breezy conditions and some heavy rain on Wednesday, but improving weather as we go toward the end of the week. So that is your latest update here for you with Gordon at the 10 o'clock time frame. We'll do another quick update at 11 and a full update, of course, today at noon.